Okay, so let's dive into something that at first sounds completely nuts, but could secretly reshape the entire globe. The United States acquiring Greenland. It sounds like a punchline, right? But believe me, the stakes here are absolutely deadly serious. And check this out. When this idea was being tossed around, this was the chilling message that came with it. This isn't just some casual, hey, what do you think kind of offer. No, this is a clear statement of intent. The message is simple. The U.S. wants Greenland one way or another. Which, of course, brings up one massive question.
I mean, seriously, why? You look at Greenland and what do you see? A massive frozen island, a wasteland, really. It just doesn't seem like something you'd risk a global conflict over. So what's really going on here? What's the big secret hidden under all that ice and snow?
And when you look at the stats, the puzzle just gets weirder. The population? Barely 57,000 people. That's smaller than a lot of towns. Their whole economy is basically fish exports. And here's the kicker. It's completely propped up by a huge annual payment from Denmark. Take that away and the whole thing would just collapse overnight. So again, why the intense interest?
Okay, now this is where things get really serious. We're talking about potentially astronomical stakes. See, both the US and Denmark are founding members of NATO. And if you know anything about NATO, you know about Article 5. It's the big one. An attack on one is an attack on all. So if the US tried to take Greenland the hard way, that would be a literal act of war against an ally. You'd have countries like the UK and France legally obligated to defend Denmark against the United States. It's almost unthinkable.
So what is the secret? What makes this chunk of ice so unbelievably valuable? Well, its first superpower boils down to the oldest rule in the book for both real estate and global strategy. Location, location, location.
You know, if you look at a regular map, it's kind of hard to see. But if you look at a globe from the top down, looking at the North Pole, bam, it becomes crystal clear. Greenland is smack dab in the middle, perfectly positioned between the two biggest nuclear powers on the planet. Controlling that island means you control the shortest flight path between Russia and North America. It is, without a doubt, the ultimate strategic high ground.
And that location gives the US an absolutely critical advantage. There's an advanced radar system there, and because of where it is, it provides an extra 15 to 20 minutes of warning time for any missile coming over the top of the world. Now, 15 minutes might not sound like a lot in your day, but in a nuclear war scenario, that's an eternity. It's literally the difference between maybe stopping a missile and total catastrophe.
But wait, there's more. It's not just about defense. Greenland is also the key, the gatekeeper to a totally new, completely game-changing global shipping route, the Northwest Passage. Think about it. For centuries, all of global trade has had to go through two choke points, the Panama Canal or the Suez Canal. Well, this new passage blows all of that up.
Just look at the difference. A ship going from London to Tokyo can cut 7,000 kilometers from its trip. That's 2 weeks of travel time saved. 2 weeks of fuel, 2 weeks of paying a crew. We're talking millions of dollars saved on a single trip. So, if you control Greenland, you basically own the toll booth on the superhighway of future global trade.
So you've got this amazing strategic location and control over a new trade route. That's huge, right? But believe it or not, that's only half the story. The second superpower, and this one might be even bigger, is what's buried under all that ice. We are talking about a literal treasure chest worth trillions and trillions of dollars.
So what exactly is down there? This is the part that takes Greenland from just a useful piece of land to an absolute jackpot. And the answer? Well, it's enough to make any world leader's jaw hit the floor.
All right, so according to the U.S. Geological Survey, these are the folks who know. The entire Arctic region is sitting on a massive chunk of the world's undiscovered fuel. We're talking 13% of all the oil and a mind-blowing 30% of the natural gas. And guess who's sitting on a giant slice of that pie? Yep, Greenland.
Just how big a slice? How about an estimated 31 billion barrels of oil? To give you some perspective, that's about the same as the entire proven oil reserves of the United States. So, from Washington's point of view, Greenland isn't just an island, it's the next Saudi Arabia.
Okay, but oil is kind of old school, right? The conflicts of the future aren't just about fossil fuels, they're about technology. And this is where Greenland plays its trump card. It's sitting on a massive supply of the essential ingredients for all 21st century tech. I mean, look at this list. It's a literal treasure trove. We're talking millions of tons of rare earth elements, the stuff you absolutely need for electric cars, for smartphones, for F-35 fighter jets, plus almost 600 million pounds of uranium, over 1 billion tons of iron ore,
It just goes on and on. It's an asset that's so valuable it's almost hard to put a price on.
But if you had to put a price on it, the total estimated value is somewhere around $4.4 trillion. Let that sink in. To put that into perspective, that single island's potential wealth is more than the entire yearly economic output of countries like India or the UK. It's just staggering.
Okay, so the big question is, if all this incredible wealth is just sitting there, why hasn't anyone cashed in? Why isn't Greenland already the richest place on Earth? Well, for centuries the answer was simple. A massive, thick layer of ice. You just couldn't get to any of it. But now, climate change is changing the game. It's the catalyst that's turning this frozen liability into a liquid asset.
And the rate of change is just unbelievable. Get this, Greenland is losing 30 million tons of ice. Not per day, not per week, per hour. And as all that ice disappears, two crucial things happen. One, all those trillions of dollars in resources are suddenly becoming exposed and accessible. And two, that frozen shortcut, the Northwest Passage, it's opening up for business.
Okay, so let's recap. The US wants Greenland for its strategic location and its insane amount of resources. But how do you actually get it without starting World War III with your own allies? Well, you don't have to buy it, and you certainly don't invade. There's a much, much cleverer way to do it.
It all comes down to giving Greenland a choice. Right now, Denmark gives them about $600 million a year, which sounds great, but it keeps them totally dependent. The US could come in and say, hey, we'll beat that offer. We'll give you more money. Plus, we'll invest billions to help you build your own mining industry, your own tourism, a real independent economy. And here's how that playbook would probably unfold, step by step. Step 1, the US makes an offer that's just too good for Greenland to refuse. Step 2, with that financial backing, Greenland holds a referendum to become independent from Denmark. Step 3, they vote yes. And then, step 4, as a brand new, quote-unquote, independent nation, Greenland signs an exclusive defense treaty with the US. And just like that, America gets everything it wants, total control, without a single shot being fired. So you can see this soft power approach is the perfect play for the US. It's clean, it's incredibly clever, and most importantly, it avoids that nightmare scenario of going to war with your own allies. But that brings us right back to where we started, to that chilling quote. What if the easy way doesn't work? What if Denmark digs in its heels and refuses to let go? Or what if the people of Greenland just say no? What happens then when the clever plan falls apart? Because as that ice continues to melt, the Arctic is rapidly becoming the next great battlefield for global competition. The future of this massive, unbelievably rich island is up for grabs. And how that's decided, whether it's with checkbooks or with warships, could very well determine the future of peace in the 21st century.